The Brooklyn Nets are the most confusing team in basketball, and they might be one of the worst teams of all time at tanking. What is going on in Brooklyn? The Nets got rid of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and then even the guys they got when they got those guys. They traded Mikal Bridges to the Knicks this offseason. Everyone's putting SpongeBob memes up saying the Nets are a laughingstock, and everyone got the memo except for the Nets, who are showing up and beating the pants off of teams with nobodies, with absolute nobodies. The Nets go on a road trip and they beat the Kings, the Warriors, and the Suns back to back to back. This is prime Drake behavior. Anyone can beat the Kings on a good night. The Warriors was damn near impressive, but then when the Nets have half the roster out and Tyrese Martin goes for 30. If I told you Tyrese M was gonna score 30, you'd go, oh, Maxey. Not even close. Tyrese Martin. After the game, the Nets coach said, they're gonna know who you are now. Why are the Nets so bad at being bad in the year they own their draft pick? And they should be tanking for Cooper Flag. As a lifelong Nets fan, tell me why I picked this year to bet the under. Why? And Vegas is in on it. They had the Nets at 18.5 games to win this season, and they had to recently bring it up to 26.5. An 8-game jump is seismic. That is massive in sports betting. Everyone was wrong about these Nets. Why are they so bad at being bad? It all starts with bad hiring. They hired the worst coach for a tank job in Jordi Fernandez. This guy loves basketball. This guy is a freaking genius. You might know him from being the Canadian men's coach. Even though this is his first head coaching gig in the NBA, he already has experience coaching a star-studded Canadian basketball team, including players like SGA, Kelly Olynyk, Dylan Brooks, and even the likes of Andrew Wiggins. Jordi Fernandez was an assistant coach with the Nuggets and an assistant coach with the Kings, and he was one of the most sought-after head coaches this offseason. But no one had any idea exactly how good he would be. As a Nets fan, I watch way too many games, and this guy is plugged in. He does not sugarcoat it. He cares about the game, he cares about his players, and he has put a system in place that has this Nets team, this group of vagabonds and rejects, playing like a unit. Nets basketball is team basketball. Even Cam Thomas, a young player who many criticize for being a black hole, comes in and he starts showing the best shooting percentage and the best playmaking and assist generation he's ever had in his career, and it's 100% on Jordi Fernandez. This guy is next level. He's getting his PhD, and he's even authored peer-reviewed articles. One of them was called Identifying and Analyzing the Construction and Effectiveness of Offensive Plays in Basketball by Using Systematic Observation. And if you understood that, congratulations, you make more money than me. But for the rest of us, he's really, really smart. Basketball is more and more about analytics and less about whatever the hell Doc Rivers does. Jordi Fernandez has coaches challenged 26 times so far this year, and he's won 16 of them. Both numbers are number one in the NBA. This guy does things like pushing the offense, pushing the tempo, pushing the fast break. Look at these clips from the Suns game. Look at how many times the Nets are pushing the break. They don't have any stars. They don't even have guys who should be like third options on a good team. Maybe Cam Johnson. We'll get to that in a second. But the Nets know their personnel. They know they have to guard. They know they have to play together as a unit. And then when they get a rebound or when the ball gets inbounded, they got to push it, run to an open spot, shoot a three, screen for each other, shoot a three, switchable defense, shoot a three. And they put the Suns out to pasture. This is before Kevin Durant got hurt. These Nets play hard and fast, but there's also some crazy numbers. This team, without a true superstar, is 13th in offensive rating, 13th in effective field goal percentage, 12th in true shooting percentage. I think this goes back to the nerd thing we were talking about before. The Nets take good shots. The Nets take really good shots. Like, you will not find a net player, including Cam Thomas, taking bad shots this year. From an analytics standpoint, they're constantly getting high-value threes. They're constantly getting drives to the basket. They're constantly doing dribble handoffs that result in open shots for players that usually can't make open shots on their own, with one exception, and that's Dennis Schroder. We're going to talk about it. Dennis Schroder is playing like an all-star. This guy had an incredible international summer, and he brought the confidence of that international ball and that Olympic swagger into this season. And this guy is just piecing teams apart and giving you that classic Dennis Schroder swagger. This guy is confident. If he's not an all-star, no one told him. Dennis Schroder is playing with confidence, the kind of confidence that caused him to drop an $84 million bag. This was one of the biggest fumbles of all time, turning down a 4-year Lakers extension to take a 1-year, $5.9 million contract. And Dennis Schroder might have been dumb then, but actually he wasn't dumb. He was just early, just like I was with Bitcoin. But now is the time for Dennis Schroder to hit 100K a coin. Dennis Schroder coin to the moon. This guy is hitting game winners. This guy, coaches are game planning for him. Second, Doc Rivers shot out of this video for some reason, but when he was interviewed before playing the Nets, they were like, how do you game plan for a team without a first option, without a superstar? And Doc Rivers, who's usually wrong, was like, the Nets have a first option. His name is Dennis Schroder. Everything goes through him. But it's not just Dennis. Every player on the Nets is playing with purpose. They're all playing for another contract or a contract extension or to get traded to a team that is going to be in contention. But for whatever reason, right now, in the here and now, this isn't like the Wizards where guys aren't playing on offense or defense or even the game of basketball. This is different. The Brooklyn Nets are diving for loose balls. They're taking charges. They're playing together as a unit. They're playing selfless. If you look at them on the bench, they're cheering for each other. They're clapping. This is an exciting time to be watching a team throw away their future, because the Nets specifically traded with the Houston Rockets and they gave them so much value. The Nets traded the Houston Rockets the Suns 27 pick, a Mavs or Suns pick in 29, and the right to swap their own pick with the Mavs or Suns in 29. Again, it's like up to 3 first-round picks. And the Nets did that to get back their picks from the James Harden trade. The Nets general manager, Sean Marks, specifically made this deal for the Nets to be bad this year, but they're not bad. They're at risk of making the playoffs, goddammit. And it's not just Dennis Schroder. It's also players like Cam Johnson. The Nets got Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges in the famous Kevin Durant trade. We also made a video about that on this channel. But when the Nets traded Mikal Bridges, everyone was like, okay, well, that's it. That was the last fringe all-star the Nets had. Wrong. Cam Johnson looks incredible. Cam Johnson is playing his way into first-round picks. But look, I've been hyping up the Nets. I've been telling you they're bad at tanking. I'm just going to tell you right now, we're going to see how good of a coach Jordi Fernandez is. Because as the injuries start to mount up and as December 15th rolls around, the Nets are going to be sellers. There's no way they traded all that draft capital to get their own picks back, not to tank. So imagine this, December 15 comes around, all these players are playing at all-time highs. The Nets are going to sell everybody. Cue that Gary Oldman meme. Everyone. I mean everyone. I think Schroder is gone, and I think he's going to fetch a first-round pick. I think that Schroder would make so much sense for so many teams. Schroder on the Minnesota Timberwolves makes so much sense this year. Dorian Finney-Smith on the Mavericks makes way too much sense for them to not do it. The Oklahoma City Thunder could use another big man. Let's send them Nick Claxton. Can anyone use Ben Simmons? No, but he is an expiring contract. The Nets are in an interesting situation because they have the most cap space for next year and a whole bunch of draft picks from those trades. So the Nets can not only trade their veterans away, but they can actually do a rehab move. This is something that the Nets have previously done. The Nets have an opportunity to use Ben Simmons' contract to trade for a player with a longer bad contract. The Nets are in asset acquisition mode, and don't let their early performance fool you. They're going to finish the season bad. Where do you think the players end up? What trades would you make if you were the Nets? And how good of a coach is Jordi Fernandez? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. This is the Trash Talk channel. We talk more basketball than anyone else.